Mr. Speaker, earlier this year, the emergency room in Chesley, Ontario had its hours limited from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Chesley residents who have emergencies outside of, bankers' hours, according to this government, they're just out of luck. Coupled with our family doctor shortage, Ontarians are left with fewer and fewer options, and residents of Chesley are understandably angry. Last month, hundreds of Chesley residents protested the ER's extended closures, even organizing the petition that will be read in the record later today. Mr. Speaker, the people of Chesley have had enough of this government's inaction as the province's healthcare crisis sweeps through their community. Will the Premier drop his appeal to Bill 124, address the staffing crisis, adequately fund our hospitals, and keep emergency rooms open across Ontario?
Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, honestly, it's bad enough when the NDP asked questions because they held the balance of power, but the Liberals were actually in power for 15 years across the province of Ontario. And what did they do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, when the NDP were in power, they reduced the acute care beds in our hospitals down to 18,000. They took thousands of beds offline. The Liberals then doubled down, Mr. Speaker, but then they went even further. They actually cut the healthcare spending across the province of Ontario while they were in power and while there was a federal government, a Conservative government, that was increasing funding by 6% a year to healthcare. That is the record of the Liberals. The Liberals helped bring this province to its knees. They underfunded small hospitals across the province of Ontario, and now this member has the nerve to get up and say, do something about it. Well, we are. We started on day one by making investments not only in our small and medium hospitals, but by rebuilding them and by bringing thousands of additional healthcare workers on.
Take a seat. The supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, you know what this government's done? This government's ensured that the ER in Alexandria has been closed 38 times from last year to this year. The government's ensured that the ER in Perth was closed for 3 straight weeks last July. They ensured that the emergency room at the Montfort Hospital in Ottawa was closed on weekends last summer, Mr. Speaker. That's the record of this government. They continue to blame others after 5 years in office, having not actually accomplished a whole heck of a lot. The healthcare crisis in Chesley. The healthcare crisis in Chesley is not a one-off. It's merely the tip of the iceberg. Unless this government changes course, it will happen again and again and again. Mr. Speaker, for the people in Chesley without a family doctor who can't drive a half an hour when they're having a heart attack and need emergency room access, Mr. Speaker, what does the Premier recommend they do in a medical emergency?
Government House Leader.
The province of Ontario did the right thing in 2018 when they elected a Conservative government to fix the bungling of 15 years of Liberals. How dare this member get up and talk about small-town Ontario? This is a member whose government closed schools in small-town Ontario. This is a member whose government starved small-town Ontario hospitals to death, Mr. Speaker, so that they could take funding from small-town Ontario and put it into hospitals in their own ridings. They closed down acute care beds. They laid off nurses. They didn't build long-term care, Mr. Speaker. That is the record of the Liberal Party. What have we done? You want to know what we've done? We're building 50 brand-new hospitals across the province of Ontario. We're expanding them. We said to our small hospitals in small-town Ontario said it is absolutely incredible that for 15 years they starved you. We took their budgets and we equaled them to what is happening in big Ontario urban communities. We're hiring more doctors with more medical schools, more nurses.